Picture this. You clean the living room, and 10 minutes later, toys are everywhere again. Shoes appear in the middle of the hallway like they walked there themselves. Your husband says, "I'll put it away later," but later never comes. You feel like the only organized person in a house determined to stay messy. Now imagine a home where children clean without being told, where adults naturally return things to their place, where organization isn't forced, it's simply how everyone lives. This isn't fantasy. It's something many Japanese households teach from childhood, and today, you're going to learn how to bring those same habits into your own home, even if your family currently resists every attempt at order. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're exploring Japanese organizing habits, not just decluttering techniques, but behavior systems that transform messy homes into peaceful spaces. Because here's the truth. Most homes are not messy because people are lazy. They're messy because no shared system exists. In many Japanese homes, organization is not a punishment or a chore. It's a life skill taught gently, consistently, and collectively. And the best part? You don't need a minimalist house, expensive storage, or perfect discipline to start. You only need the right mindset and small daily habits that teach both husbands and children how to live organized lives naturally. Let's begin. Section 1. The Japanese philosophy. Everyone owns the home. One of the biggest cultural differences between many modern households and traditional Japanese homes lies in a simple but powerful belief. Who is responsible for the home? In many families around the world, cleaning slowly becomes assigned to one person, usually the mother, the wife, or whoever naturally dislikes mess the most. Over time, an invisible role forms. One person notices clutter, one person fixes it, and everyone else unconsciously adapts to being cared for rather than being responsible. At first, this arrangement may seem harmless, but gradually, something deeper happens. The cleaner becomes exhausted. The others become dependent. And the home turns into a place of imbalance rather than cooperation. Japanese organizing philosophy approaches the home from an entirely different perspective. In Japan, the home is not maintained by one person. The home belongs to everyone, therefore, everyone maintains it. This idea is introduced early in childhood. Long before adulthood habits form, children grow up understanding that cleaning is not a favor done for parents. It is not punishment. It is not even considered a chore in the traditional sense. It is simply part of living. Japanese schools reinforce this mindset in a way that surprises many outsiders. Students clean their own classrooms, hallways, and shared spaces daily. There are often no janitors responsible for routine cleaning tasks. Instead, children sweep floors, wipe desks, and organize materials together. The lesson being taught is not about cleanliness alone. It teaches ownership. It teaches respect for shared environments. And most importantly, it teaches awareness, the understanding that mess does not magically disappear because someone else handles it. Now pause and reflect on your own home. If one person constantly restores order, while others unknowingly create disorder, frustration quietly builds, not because the work itself is hard, but because responsibility feels unequal. Japanese organizing begins by changing identity before changing behavior. The goal is not to create a stricter cleaner. The goal is to create a shared identity. Not, "Mom cleans the house," but, "We are a family that takes care of our space." This shift may sound small, but language shapes perception. When family members believe organization belongs to everyone, participation becomes natural rather than forced. How to apply this at home? Instead of saying, "Help me clean," which subconsciously implies ownership belongs to one person, say, "Let's reset our home together." The difference is subtle but powerful. One sounds like assistance. The other sounds like belonging. When husbands and children feel included rather than commanded, resistance often drops dramatically. People naturally protect spaces they feel ownership over. And slowly, cleaning stops being a battle and becomes a shared rhythm. Section 2. Start with systems, not lectures. Many households try to solve messiness through repetition. "Pick this up. Why is this here? How many times have I told you?" These phrases are familiar in countless homes. Yet despite constant reminders, clutter keeps returning. Japanese organizing takes a different approach. Instead of correcting people repeatedly, it asks a more useful question. Is the environment making organization easy or difficult? Because most mess is not caused by laziness. It is caused by friction. If toys have no clear home, children leave them wherever play ends. If shoes lack a defined storage space, they remain by the door. If laundry baskets are far away or hidden, clothes naturally land on chairs or beds. Humans follow the path of least resistance, adults and children alike. Japanese homes, therefore, prioritize visible simplicity. Everything has an obvious place, and that place makes sense intuitively. The core rule: everything needs one obvious home, not several possible locations, not temporary surfaces, not "we'll figure it out later." One clear location. This removes decision-making, and decision-making is often the hidden enemy of organization. Children especially respond to visual logic rather than verbal instruction. When they can see exactly where something belongs, cleanup becomes almost automatic. Imagine a large toy box filled with everything mixed together. To a child, cleanup feels overwhelming. They must think, sort, and decide. Now imagine separate baskets, one for cars, one for dolls, one for building blocks. Add pictures or labels. Suddenly, cleanup becomes a matching game instead of a chore. Even a 4-year-old can succeed without supervision. The same principle works for adults. For husbands or partners who struggle with organization, simplify decisions. One tray for keys and wallet near the entrance, one charging station for devices, one clearly placed laundry drop zone. When systems remove thinking, habits form naturally. Organization succeeds not when people try harder, but when systems work smarter. Section 3. The power of reset moments. Many families approach cleaning as a large event, a stressful weekend activity, a deep cleaning marathon, a reaction to overwhelming mess. Japanese households often do the opposite. They rely on small daily resets instead of large, exhausting efforts. This approach is transformative because it prevents chaos from accumulating in the first place. Rather than waiting until disorder becomes visible, families restore order briefly throughout the day. These moments are short, predictable, and shared. Morning reset. The day begins with simple actions. Bed straightened, pajamas folded, curtains opened to welcome light. These small actions signal something powerful to the brain: the transition into a new day. Psychologically, order creates mental readiness. A tidy start often leads to clearer thinking and calmer moods. After school or after work reset. When family members return home, items are handled immediately. Bags are emptied, shoes placed in their spot, daily items returned before relaxation begins. This prevents the slow spreading of clutter across rooms. Mess never gains momentum. Evening reset. Perhaps the most important ritual. Before rest, the family spends 5 to 10 minutes restoring shared spaces. Not as punishment, not as correction, but as ritual. Children begin associating calm evenings with orderly surroundings. Over time, this becomes comforting rather than demanding. How to introduce reset moments without resistance. Change should feel gentle, not forced. Start small. Say, before we relax tonight, we'll do a 5-minute reset together. Set a timer. Keep it short. Make it predictable. Consistency matters far more than duration. A daily 5-minute habit is more powerful than occasional hours of cleaning. Section 4. Teaching children the Japanese way. Japanese organizing habits focus heavily on independence. Children are not expected to be perfect. They are expected to be capable. This distinction changes everything. Principle 1. Show, don't scold. When adults criticize unfinished cleaning, children often feel discouraged or confused. Instead of saying, "You didn't clean properly," Japanese teaching emphasizes demonstration. Move slowly. Show each step calmly. Allow imitation. Children learn primarily through observation, not instruction. What they see repeatedly becomes normal behavior. Principle 2. Reduce overwhelm. Modern homes often contain too many toys. While abundance seems beneficial, It creates decision fatigue. When children face too many choices, attention scatters and cleanup becomes overwhelming. Many Japanese households rotate toys. Half are stored away and switched monthly. The results are surprising. Cleanup becomes faster. Children rediscover excitement when items return. Appreciation increases. Less truly becomes more. Principle 3. Make cleaning playful. Young children build emotional associations with activities. If cleaning feels stressful, resistance forms early. If cleaning feels playful, cooperation becomes natural. Turn organization into games. Racing to return items. Cleaning while music plays. Sorting by colors or shapes. The goal is not perfection. The goal is positive emotional memory. Children who associate cleanup with fun rarely grow into adults who avoid responsibility. Section 5. Teaching disorganized husbands without conflict. This area challenges many families because adults are harder to change than children. Habits built over decades do not disappear through criticism. Japanese communication culture places strong emphasis on harmony rather than confrontation. Instead of attempting to change personality, the environment is adjusted to support behavior. Strategy 1. Design for success. Observe habits without judgment. If clothes always land on a chair, place a laundry basket beside that chair. If keys are dropped randomly, create a convenient landing spot near the entrance. Work with behavior rather than fighting against it. People naturally follow the easiest available option. Strategy 2. Silent systems. Rather than constant reminders, create systems that guide behavior automatically. Examples include entryway trays for daily essentials, hooks instead of complicated hangers, open storage instead of hidden cabinets. When access is easy and visible, compliance increases effortlessly. Ease almost always beats discipline. And slowly, organization stops feeling like correction and starts feeling natural. Strategy 3. Appreciation reinforcement. In Japanese culture, acknowledgement strengthens habits. Say, "Thanks for putting that away." Positive reinforcement increases repetition. People repeat what earns appreciation. Section 6. The Japanese concept of space matters. Ma refers to intentional empty space. Clutter isn't only physical, it creates mental noise. Japanese homes leave breathing room between objects. Why? Because emptiness makes maintenance easier. If shelves are packed, disorder spreads quickly. If space exists, items naturally return to order. Keep storage only 70–80% full. This single adjustment dramatically reduces mess. Section 7. Family rituals that sustain organization. Habits survive through rituals. Examples inspired by Japanese homes. Sunday mini declutter. Monthly donation box. Seasonal reset days. Children grow up expecting renewal. Instead of forced cleaning days, organization becomes seasonal rhythm. Section 8. Why these habits actually work. Japanese organizing succeeds because it focuses on psychology. Reduce decisions. Create predictable routines. Share responsibility. Design environments for success. Teach through modeling. Messiness often disappears not because people change, but because systems guide behavior automatically. Section 9. A realistic transition plan. Do not change everything overnight. Week 1. Create entryway system. Week 2. Introduce evening. Reset. Week 3. Simplify children's toys. Week 4. Add shared responsibility language. Slow change builds lasting habits. A peaceful home is not created by constant cleaning. It is created by shared habits. Japanese organizing teaches us something powerful. Order is not about perfection. It is about respect for space, for time, and for each other. When husbands understand systems, when children grow up practicing responsibility, and when organization becomes part of daily rhythm, the home stops feeling like work and starts feeling like rest. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who feels overwhelmed by household mess. Because sometimes the smallest habits create the biggest peace, and your calm home might begin today, one small reset at a time.